So a lot of focus these days, a lot of communication, which you were mentioning with the brands, has
Mm-hmm.
shifted towards data.
Okay.
So data is something which actually universally, whether a brand has they've got their digital.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another insightful marketing thought leader interview series at Digital Vidya. Today, we have Mr. Kunal Kapoor, who is currently the Vice President of Client Engagement and Delivery at Merkle Sokrati. Kunal has around 15 years of experience with digital media, telecom domains, and he has worked with different departments like marketing, sales, business development, and client strategy. At Merkle Sokrati, Kunal is managing leading brands in edtech, retail, consumer durables, OTT, and so many. So, welcome, Kunal. Welcome to this Digital Vidya Thought Leader interview series. Thank you for giving your time.
Thank you, Raj. The
Yeah.
pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much for
So,
having
shall we
me.
start our interview series with the first question?
Sure, sure. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
The first question is about your experience in digital marketing. So, when was the first time you experienced the power of digital marketing, and how was your experience at that time?
So, so it's been a long career so far. I started working in 2007, right? So, the earlier part of my career, I was in the telecom domain. So, I transitioned to digital later, and I think it has exploded now in the last 5, 6, 7 years, right? So, in my experience, I mean, the first time I experienced the power of digital marketing, I think it was few years ago when I was making this transition to digital, and it started actually with SEO. So it has to do with the change of perspective, I think, I guess. So, like Google search as a user, I've been using it since years. But
Right.
to realize that how can search results be impacted through SEO, it was an eye opener, right? And to understand the science and the logic behind it, the whole search universe, and most importantly, to learn that how much business are brands generating out of it. So that the power of search. So that was like mind boggling for me. So that was, I can say that the first touch point when it really hit me that, it can be so impactful. So yeah, it started with SEO. And then later on with experience, many more things came up. Right now, the focus is performance marketing, but that's how it started.
Great.
Yeah.
The next question is about your aha moments. So, would you like to throw some light on the aha moments in your digital marketing journey till now? When was the first time you felt the real power?
So see, very difficult to pinpoint, or I mean, there have been loads of moments. So I consider myself as a student of the domain as
Okay.
far as digital is concerned, right? So it's a constantly evolving domain. You keep learning so many new things. So most of the aha moments, in my case, have been around times when I've learned something new. Sometimes it's like art. The strategies we work on, the media plans we prepare, when they translate into reality, and you can see measurable outcomes in the reports and insights, that all is very fascinating for me. I mean, that's what the aha moment for me, especially when we succeed at doing something, like when we overachieve the business goal, the client is happy. So those are the aha moments when exactly what we have planned for, that happens on ground, right? So that's what gives me the most happiness. So can't pinpoint any particular. There have been a lot of moments. So especially when we win any award for the clients. So those are the moments when those campaigns, those ideas get recognized. So those are the moments. Yeah.
Right. So, what is your greatest achievement in digital marketing till now?
So, greatest achievement. I haven't achieved much in my view, to be very honest. Can't single out a greatest achievement. Again, this is almost in line with the previous question of yours. So like whenever we get an appreciation from the client, when we overachieve their business targets, resulting in client delight, those are the greatest achievements. I mean, of course, there have been personal accomplishments also and occasions wherein my efforts have been recognized by my organization or generally in the industry, and I'm grateful for it. But I take it in good stride. But yeah, yes, there is one thing which I have started doing in the last couple of years. I can't call it my achievement, to be very honest, but I try and visit universities and colleges as a panel speaker or as a guest speaker. So there to share my experience with the students, to give them the required guidance so that they can make them all the right choices in their careers and take the necessary steps to progress towards their goals and aspirations. So whenever I am able to contribute even a little bit in that direction, I consider that as a big achievement. So that, yeah,
Yeah, that's a great thing. You are helping people to decide why they should choose digital marketing as a
yeah.
career.
So I
That's
actually proactively try and do it. I've been trying that since last 2, 3 years. So
great.
I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can see like in your LinkedIn, like you have worked with various newspaper and media companies. So, and now you are in digital marketing. So, what do you think? Like conventional marketing techniques are still valuable these days when compared to digital marketing?
Conventional. I think yes. I mean, especially in Indian context, while it is true that the way people consume information is changing, but timeline wise, if you ask me, digital still has a long way to go in Indian context. So this is especially applicable in case of top funnel advertising or in general terms, branding or awareness campaigns. So there, still a large part of our audience, they have more trust on the traditional mediums. When when you see an ad in a newspaper or when you see a TVC, watch a TVC, I feel that today also the credibility there is much more than what in case when they see an ad on a digital platform or anything of that sort. So I think that part is there. Plus even if you talk about data, if you talk about things like wallet share, so even the major brands, I think they still believe this, and that's why even today a major part of their advertising budget still goes to ATL and other traditional mediums, right? So
Right.
digital. So there are exceptions for sure where which are digital heavy, but for majority of big brands, digital still constitutes only 10-15% at best of their. You can take it up to 20% of their advertising budget. So that says a lot, right? So in terms of credibility, trust, of course, reach is there, but that credibility and trust part, it still has some way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely, like another thing to add is that a very quick example is like print. So
Yes.
I have worked with brands like HT Media, Amar Ujala, right,
Mhm.
Agran Group. So from the longest time, we have been hearing that print newspaper industry is going to disappear. It will be phased out. But after so many years, still, if you look at the data, latest reports, those number of newspaper subscribers are also increasing,
Increasing, right?
still increasing, right? So I think it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So yeah,
Okay. What are your thoughts on digital marketing for B2B versus digital marketing for B2C?
B2B, so of course, I mean, broadly speaking, the difference is firstly the audience size, the target audience definitely is smaller in case of B2B, more niche, more targeted as compared to B2C, where mass campaigns work very well and targeting is broader as compared to B2B. Then again, call to action is strikingly different. On B2B, even if you look at the nature of the business, you can't expect the actual transaction to happen online on a real time basis, because the ticket size is higher, much higher, right? So the decision making is longer there, so it can't happen on the fly, unlike B2C, where you can just click on the ad, decide there and then sell and buy a product. So on B2B, the KPIs, the CTAs are more towards, maybe lead generation or awareness, right? While on B2C, you have mostly a full funnel approach, where you write from top funnel, creating awareness, then driving them towards consideration, and then towards transactions, and driving those transactions through bottom funnel campaign. So you can follow a full funnel approach. While on B2B, the buck stops at maybe leads, right? So that's mostly, and of course, in line with this, the communication also differs, and platforms also differ where you target such people, right? So communication on B2B is more business driven, more serious, as
Right.
compared to B2C, where you can try different combination, different type of communications, offer led communication, some peppy communication to attract different audience cohorts,
Right.
right? So that is also different. So yeah, in nature, strategy wise, there has to be a very different strategy for both B2B and B2C advertising, in my opinion. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My next question is about the organizations. So while you're working with big brands as your customers, what do you think? What are the top mistakes organizations are, doing while they are using digital marketing?
Hmm.
What are the
Hmm.
top mistakes which are committed by organizations while they leverage digital marketing?
Uh, okay, so going by our interactions with the brands on a day-to-day basis. So, in terms of mistakes, see, one is with respect to the overall approach itself. So, in many cases, we have seen that they lack patience, right? They kind of consider it as an instant noodles, right? It's not
Yeah,
like that. So, uh, somehow, I don't know where it started from, but there is this notion that when it comes to digital, it's like instant results, right? You
yeah,
just pump in money and you will generate three, four, five times of that, right? So
right,
they don't think it through, that
right,
there is also, although it's all very tech driven, there is a significant human element involved there, right? Because
right.
at the end of the day, the people whom you are reaching out to, they are human beings.
Yeah, yeah,
So their decision making, and at the end of the day, that won't get impacted by the kind of tech you are using and the kind of monies you are pumping in. Because for each individual, for him, like for me, if somebody reaches out to me through on any platform, I won't put thought in, like, how much money are they pumping on their overall digital advertising, what is the audience size they are reaching out to. For me, it's just about that ad, right? So in
right,
that moment, what strikes me, in that communication, the moment when it reaches out to me, the platform when it reaches out to me, that's what will compel me to make that decision, to make that purchase or whatever the CTA is, right?
right, right,
So as a brand, as a marketer, you have to put thought. There's a lot of thinking involved.
right.
So that's what I think, that's one of the mistakes where people are getting it wrong
Mhm,
when it comes to digital. Then again, lack of a full funnel approach, right?
mhm.
So a very surprising thing which I have noticed is that people or brands, they underestimate the power of branding
Right,
or top funnel campaigns. So usually you hear during the conversation, like, I am doing top funnel through ATL, or I
right,
am putting money on print and uh, TVC. So on digital, I just want to drive conversion, right?
mhm,
But again, coming back to the whole thing, that whole full funnel approach, they don't understand the significance of it, right? That
Right.
through digital, through that measurable data and outcome, you have the power to, move those audiences, that intent of the audience from top funnel to middle funnel to bottom funnel, and drive transaction through that
Right.
by making your funnel rich, right? That. So that is something, that uh, is another mistake which the brands do. So instead of focusing on a full funnel approach, they just go for bottom funnel. So that is again one thing. And lastly, I mean, again, when it comes to their tech infra, right? They're also uh, sometimes they miss the point in, having in evolving with the current trends, right? When it comes to things like, little things like their CRM, how well is it integrated with all the tools and the platform, how the tracking is happening. So I have seen cases where even at GA level, it's not set up properly, right? So these are basics. So but I get it. I mean, what could be the reason behind that? But I think there a lot of education is required. Those conversations are very important. When we need to have those conversations with the brand to tell them, end to end, that how is it going to impact their business and why is it important for them. So I think that can be solved through that. So yeah, these are few of the mistakes, I guess, which the brands are making. Yeah.
And what are your favorite channels in digital marketing?
Favorite channels. So, see, very difficult to answer that because
Mhm.
again, you work
You
on
must
all
be
the
pitching to your
channels.
clients.
Yeah. But see, personally, my soft corner is always towards the push channel.
Right.
So with pull,
Hmm.
like research,
Hmm.
so you already have an intent in place.
Right.
You have to build upon that.
Right.
The main challenge as a marketer comes when you have to develop intent.
Right.
So that's what excites me as a marketer. So experimenting with different creative types, communication styles, vernacular communication, identifying those sweet spots, that combination of audience plus platform plus creative plus ad copy,
Hmm.
identifying those sweet spots, which are garnering the most optimum results at the most efficient cost. So
Hmm.
that is what excites me. Audience targeting, creating those audience personas, and
Hmm.
that mostly happens on push channels, right?
Okay.
So you can say all the push channel. I mean, Facebook, on Google, smart display, again, all the whole programmatic advertising piece. That's that's where my soft corner is.
Okay. Nowadays, everyone is talking about Chat GPT.
Hmm.
Since you are, representing a brand, I
Hmm.
hope the companies which you are serving, are they asking you questions whether, I mean, your, company should also use Chat GPT for their brand promotion? Are you getting some inquiries from your clients?
Not exactly on those lines,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because Chat GPT has a lot of relevance. It has a lot to do with reducing efforts and time, right?
Right.
I mean, I won't comment on the quality,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of when it comes to Chat GPT, the idea is that all that thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
The time which goes into thinking and the speed at which you churn out those communications, so many applications it has. Yeah, right. So, but I don't think it comes directly from the brands. It has started coming from the brands directly. They don't ask that whether you are using ChatGPT or not. But on this side of the table, of course, there have been a lot of communications around that. So a lot of experimentation going on. I mean, again, AI, machine learning. So apart from, even apart from ChatGPT, also when you talk about uh, AI or the evolving technology, so
Mm-hmm.
there lot of communications are going on.
Okay.
Whether it's about chatbot marketing,
Right.
predictive analysis, marketing automation like various CRMs,
Yeah.
which help us in managing data, providing smooth customer handling. Even on online search, AI is changing the way online searches are happening through
Right.
new innovation like voice search, Amazon Echo,
Yeah.
Apple Siri, search through voice command.
Right.
Uh, so those conversations with respect to these new technologies are happening. I mean, a lot on this side of the table. Actually, I am a part of an agency, so yeah. So
Okay.
actually,
And what are the latest techniques, I mean, your company is using while serving the clients other than programmatic?
so by techniques as in,
Maybe certain tools or softwares, or maybe, I mean, areas like, are they working only on ad campaigns, or, I mean, they are
no,
serving
see,
SEO campaigns
so
also?
a lot of focus these days, a lot of communication which you were mentioning with the brands has
Hmm.
shifted towards data.
Okay.
So data is something which actually universally, whether a brand they've got their digital strategy right or not, data
Right.
is something everybody is talking about.
Right.
So in terms of having a view of the whole user journey, even from offline to digital, there also brands are asking for a unified dashboard where
Okay.
they can have a view of how different user touch points are coming into play, how one user is navigating through different platforms, and how are we nurturing it
Okay.
to drive it towards the bottom funnel and towards the transaction. That's what they are very interested in. What kind of impact each campaign is having on this whole user journey. So
Hmm.
that is something we have been working on a lot. So we have our own proprietary tools also, which help us in this direction. Other than that, also we are working on some general tools which are available to everybody, right? To view this data, to analyze it, to share those insights with the brands. So apart from running ad campaigns and managing the whole mandate, this is
Hmm.
something which where a lot of effort is going through. Like I'll give you a very quick example of creative, right? No,
Right.
on creative, generally when you share insights, they are very limited in the sense the scope is very limited, right? You tell that this creative is working, this is not.
Right.
These are this is where we got good CTR and not. But that has evolved a lot. So these days we are talking about a detailed creative persona report where we are talking about different elements in the creative. So we have gone deep there where we are talking about different color themes. We are talking about different articles available in the creatives, whether human-led creatives are working better or whether offer-led creatives are working better. And so we are sharing those kind of insights with the brands to help them in churning out such creative assets for the campaigns. So those discussions have evolved a lot. Yeah, so that's where the focus is right now.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
You mentioned about, like, you have taken multiple sessions with universities and colleges.
Hmm.
Can you share your thoughts, like, what is the top skill nowadays students should opt in digital marketing so that they can also get into this digital marketing industry?
Sure. So, see, digital is a very vast domain,
Yeah.
right? So, in terms of skills, firstly, I would say that before skill, they should develop a passion
Yeah.
for the industry, right?
Right.
They should understand what digital is. So, it's like, again, in our times, many years ago, there was a norm. Everybody wants to become an engineer or
Yeah.
everybody wants to do an MBA, right?
Right.
So that's the kind of wave we are seeing right now, where everybody wants to do digital. So
Right.
I don't think that's a good idea to just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
You should understand, read. I mean, reading is most important. That's what I tell all the students whenever I interact with them.
Right.
Reading is very important to increase your level of awareness, right, about the domain, what's happening, and whether you really have an interest there or not.
Okay.
Otherwise you will burn out very quickly.
Right.
Sometimes it becomes too much for you to handle. Not
Mm-hmm.
in terms of technicality, but in terms of the level of patience and efforts and thinking which is required in
Right.
the team, right? So that's one. Second, in terms of technology, again, like I said, it's a very vast domain. So going by the kind of background you're coming from an education point of view, accordingly you can decide. So there is a whole creative element to it, the whole digital domain, right? So if you come from a creative background, there is a lot you can do
Right.
in digital, right? Then again, if you are from a technical background, so you can develop your skill set in some particular area like AI, right? So we know
Right.
that AI is the future, right? For next many of the coming years, right? So
Right.
that you can do some specialization there and develop your career there. So it depends, right? Or maybe if you are more interested in, say, for by business side of things, you like talking to people, you like client management, you are a business guy, you are a marketing guy. So again, it's a huge domain, right? So many options are available with you, even whether you're working with an agency or with a brand, right? You can work on the marketing strategies, and so
Mhm.
many options are available. So it all depends that you. So it's very important that youngsters, students should realize their strengths and read about the domain and then take a call
Right.
what's best for them, right? So
Right.
like a very, I mean, it can be a stupid example, but like if you come from a creative bent of mind and you have a creative background,
Mhm.
and today the trend is talking all about AI, right?
Mhm.
Or anything which has to do with technology or machine learning, it doesn't mean you'll just jump into it.
Mhm. Mhm.
You have to play to your strengths.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I suggest to the student.
Okay.
Yeah,
One question which I personally want to ask you,
so
most of the students, they are very much amazed about your company. I mean, they want to join your company, but the question with them is like, what is the starting salary people are getting in Merkle Sokrati? So from a student point of view, I just want this answer so that at least people can have that vision that, okay, if they want to join Merkle Sokrati, maybe in digital marketing, what is the starting package which they can expect? Maybe in
un-
performance marketing or in SEO or maybe in other domains.
unfortunately, I'm the wrong person to ask that
Okay.
question. So I don't have a view on that. Honestly, that's not a part of my profile. I myself have been working with Sokrati from last 2.5 years.
Right.
But I that's not my domain basically to know. It's not possible for me to know what
Okay.
the salary structure is of other people, right? So not I'm not the right person to answer that.
That's okay. That's okay. And do you hire freshers in your department?
Definitely, we have an extensive hiring system where we hire lots of freshers, and our what should I say, the training module which we have, that whole the way we train new joinees and the freshers, that's like kind of state of the art, and that's recognized across the industry.
Right.
So we have an extensive training program for all the freshers for trainees, and we groom them to become domain experts on multiple channels. Google, we believe in developing specialization, so
Right.
that's where we train them. Right. Again, with training comes a lot of evaluation also. We have a very strict evaluation process also, where
Okay.
we keep tracking their progress, and accordingly we keep grooming them and mentoring them. So definitely we hire a lot of freshers.
Okay. So is there any selection criteria in education also? Like you hire only BTech, BE, or any normal graduate can also join your company?
Normal graduates can, so some level of, so it depends on the kind of profile you're joining for. If it
Okay.
has something to do with platforms, definitely some level of technical expertise will be required, but not essentially a person has to be BTech only, right? So it depends on how you perform during the interviews, the kind of knowledge you display, the kind of aptitude is the most important thing. So
Okay.
aptitude is the most important thing. So kind of approach you have towards the domain, how keen you are to learn,
Right.
right? So that's very important. So yeah, so from a qualification wise, I think we are flexible enough. Yeah.
Okay. So is there any age criteria also, like the minimum and maximum age for fresher hiring?
No, I don't think so. Again, I'm not the right person to comment on it, but I don't think there is any age criteria. There is
Okay.
any restriction there. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, at Digital Vidya also, like we are, I mean, training, I mean, people since 2009, and there are so many students who aspire to join your company. So,
Hmm.
would you like to share a few words about digital marketing education, which we are imparting? I hope you have seen our website. We have
Yes,
multiple
yes,
programs.
yes.
Yeah.
So definitely, I know I mean, Digital Vidya is something I've been reading about since a long time. I've seen the kind of programs you are offering. I've seen, I've gone through the structure, through the whole course, and I think you are doing a great job. I mean, especially, it's very inspiring from a perspective of, you're doing a great service to the nation by nurturing the talent
Yeah.
and helping them develop that expertise so that they can build their career in this
Right.
domain. I think that there you are doing a great service. And even love the quality of the courses, the kind of knowledge which is imparted to the students. And I have met few students who have done courses through Digital Vidya, and I think they definitely came out a much better person, especially in the when it comes to knowledge on digital is concerned. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. So kudos to all of you.
Thank you, and Kunal, for giving your time. This was a last question, and I wish you all the best. And I would request you to please visit our office also. We have our office in Gurgaon.
Sure,
So, with this note, I'm completing this session.
sure.
Anything else you want to speak before we complete this session?
No, that's a message to the young people. Just keep learning, try out new things, uh,
Mhm.
read and explore. I mean, that's what I say to everybody. You should never stop reading. Reading is something you should always do. Plus, lastly, don't forget to have fun in life.
Yeah.
So, no need to be serious all the time. Yeah, yeah.
So, thank
Okay.
you, Kunal. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.